today's pricing, isn't it?
Today's pricing with coffee.
Nigel.
Nigel is Mr. Pricing.
Indeed, and obviously it's a topic that is as relevant as ever in an era where for law firms it really is all about cash. And I've got clients asking me all kinds of questions about how they should modify their pricing strategies and pricing policies during this period. And I'm afraid my first response tends to disappoint them, which is strategically, you should stay exactly the same. Whatever your pricing strategies were before the coronavirus crisis, you should stick to them during the crisis. Because one thing we can't do at a time like this is even get close to profiteering. Our clients have long memories. No client would forgive a law firm for taking advantage of them at a time like this. This is a time for us to support our clients and to be seen to support our clients. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no room at all. Sorry, Howard?
I was going to say, Nigel, can't you be seen to be supporting your clients by taking a more flexible approach? And a different approach to pricing, so you could actually still bring it in now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, underpinning so much of pricing, as Mark knows in particularly well, and both of you know to a meaningful extent, choice underpins everything. And one of the ways that we can incentivize clients to pay us for our work is by offering them a choice. If you pay now, I can give you a discount of. You don't have to, if you need time to pay, we're utterly relaxed about that. You're good clients. If you need 3 months to pay, that's absolutely fine. But if you want X% off and pay while I'm on the phone, great. We both get a deal out of it.
What sort of percentage would you be thinking of, Nigel, if it's a sort of, you need a job done and I tell you what, I'll give you a discount if you pay me now? What percentage are you suggesting?
It's a really interesting question, and it varies, Mark. That won't surprise you, but the way I would look at it is this. At the very bottom end, I think every law firm ought to at least be considering now, whenever it's sending out an invoice, just having a little rider on the bottom that says, if you pay by some really, really compressed period of time, like 3 days, 5 days, please reduce this by 1.5% to X, if not the full price. You don't need to change your T's and C's, you don't need to change your engagement letter to have a little rider on the bottom of your invoicing. So I think a tiny, tiny discount on an invoice, great. Your question was, what about if we've got new work coming in? So what I'd be saying for new projects is, one of the pricing options we should be giving clients is the discounted fixed fee for payment up front, where practicable. What sort of level? I would have thought somewhere around 5%, Mark, off the pay at the end fixed fee. No more than that. There are other tools as well.
Can I just take a little bit of issue with you about cash payment by a certain date? Going back many years, I did try to do that, and I tended to have the experience of clients taking the discount but paying outside the window. Yes. So you're left with a very small amount due to you, which you're not going to sue for, but they've taken advantage of you.
Well, they have, Howard, but we are talking 1.5–2%. So shrug your shoulders and move on, yeah. particularly at a time like this.
Yeah.
The other area where I think discounting can be extremely useful at the moment is in attacking your aged debt mounting. So,
my hobby horse.
One of your hobby horses, Barry. I do leap in if you have any alternate views on this, Barry, because this is an overlap of expertise between us here. But what I'd be saying is, for current debt, most firms that's 0 to 60 days, some it's 0 to 90 days. If you've got a credit control function or somebody who can step into that during this period of working from home, time to, again, offer clients a choice. I can give you a discount of 3, 4, 5% if you pay now. You don't have to times are hard, we fully understand, but that would help attack the current debts. For your aged debtors, the over 90, over 120 days, we can be a bit more generous. In fact, it's in our interest to be. It's a bird in the hand. I think once we get to 120 days, as I remember from my time in private practice, mentally they're doubtful debts, despite what your fee earners are telling us about this being a rock solid client, etc. At 120 days, you've lost interest. It's a hopeful or doubtful debt. So I think for those clients that have owed us money for that length of time, we should be offering them 7.5%, 8%, 10% if they pay now. It is the bird in the hand. I'm not suggesting this. In fact, I'm suggesting the opposite of suing our clients for money. That shouldn't be on the agenda at all at the moment. But giving clients choice and give you a substantial discount if you pay now. If you can't, we fully understand, I think is the right tone to take. How does that sound to you, Barry?
Well, I would be coming at it slightly differently. And I think, you know, one of the things with your pricing work, it's all in the conversation up front. And then so I would be coming at it from the point of view of, is there a reason why? It's not, you know, it's not like you, we've known you a long time, blah, blah, blah. What's the reason and what can we do about that? And as I've said so many times, debts which get beyond the 60-day mark, as often as not, are because there's something the clients didn't like, and that, but they're not going to have the conversation. So you've got to start off by having whoever's doing the phone call, whether it's the credit controller or whether it's the fee earner, saying, what's the problem? I mean, you can almost do it in the old American sales throwaway thing. What's the problem? Haven't you got the money? And start from that point of view.
I don't disagree about that at all, Barry. And I think that would be the conventional approach in conventional times. I would probably agree with you on that. What I'm suggesting is that these are not normal times.
Yeah.
And the approach that I'm suggesting actually avoids a potentially awkward conversation between law firm and client.
Well, it's an awkward conversation anyway, because if you're saying 120 days, you know, if we knock 15% off, will you pay it? It's actually saying, you know, saying to them, yeah, you're entitled to mess us about.
I wonder whether the people watching the video might be more interested in segmentation by practice area at the moment, because we've actually got all of our law firm clients have got areas of their practice which are booming and areas which are on their backs. And even within practice areas, we have clients that are booming and clients that are on their backs. So let's say you're an employment law team, currently as busy as you've ever been, not necessarily entirely with paid work, but
yeah,
the demand for your services is strong. Well, it's quite possible that you've got clients within your practice area, within your field of employment law, that are in boom times. They might be in food, they might be in logistics, or they might be on their knees for all the usual reasons. And it seems to me almost an article of faith in pricing, that you price the client, not the job. And this is absolutely the time that you will say to those clients that are on their knees, we're here for you, we can help you, and we price you accordingly. And that might be payment terms more than pricing options, Howard.
Yep.
But for those clients that are so busy they've never had it so good, an awful phrase to use at this time, we should be pricing them accordingly. And that would mean potentially premium pricing if they need us to move quickly on work, to reflect urgency, to reflect risk and responsibility for us, to reflect our resourcing. So I do think there is room here for developing further the idea of client segmentation. And I think many of the law firms I've worked with would admit
Mm.
that they've got the hang of what value pricing is and the kind of options to develop, but they tend still to price jobs rather than clients.
Okay. That's
Mm.
a really interesting point, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty sophisticated then, Nigel.
I think pricing is sophisticated.
Well, like any other skill, when you take it to the level that it should be practiced at, it requires a lot of practice, a lot of time, and there's always more to learn. There's always more to learn and more to do. So, yeah, I think speaking as I was to a lawyer in Europe yesterday, they have been told, and this is, I'm told it has the force of law, that businesses are to be lenient with each other.
On that happy note on leniency, it may be time to say farewell, but nice to chat to you as always, gents.